Good afternoon, and thank you. I'll be quick and to the point. Let's talk about visual media. What happens when media change? Does opportunity change? To illustrate, here's a quick story. Think of some imaginary time and place where people communicate construction documentation, but using only the medium of recorded voice, sound. People say, we have to hear the author's voice. It's important to know exactly what the author said. But then other people counter that and say, sure, but there's this new medium, moving picture. Look at it. It's great to hear the author's voice, but this silent film is richer and it holds a lot more information. We want to use it instead of voice. So there are these two viewpoints then, and we have to believe one or the other is better, recorded voice or silent picture. Well, that's a false choice, of course, because you should choose both. You synchronize them both together, and surprising as it may be, even though this is obvious that you should put sound into picture, it was disputed at the time by some people in the film industry. Jack Warner of Warner Brothers in 1926 said it was a bad idea and would never be commercially viable, so he was wrong. Combining media together makes better media. It's a good idea, and in his case it led to a 7-fold increase in revenue for his company in the following year after his prediction. So in 2012, as you well know, we've done this. We've combined two kinds of media, drawings into models. Notice the red symbols and the green one, drawing your attention. That's what drawings do. They draw your attention toward locations of accountable reliability. And when you put them together, they get better. When you can see the things around a thing, you understand the thing better. Before this combination, drawings were abstract individual picture puzzle pieces and difficult to interpret. Construction firms report that. Deciphering them takes a very large amount of time, and some firms even say it's their firm's greatest challenge. What we're doing helps them understand drawings because drawings define authored locations within an environment, and because a model is an environment, we start by putting the drawings in their environment. And this is the start of many things. We can help people see their work and communicate by giving them new kinds of environmental media that keep intact within them an author's statements. The rest of this presentation is a look at new kinds of media with statements within them. Let's start with social media. What is social media other than comments by authors over here about statements by authors over here, which can be visual statements by authors? When statements by authors look like this, then this is the perfect place to integrate social media. If you author this statement, then your team should know about it. So drag and drop your statement onto your Facebook status or your Yammer status so your team can see that you made a statement. When they click on it, we'll launch the DGN web viewer pre-invoked at your statement so they see this. Conversation follows. Why is it drawn like this? How could it change? What was it like in earlier versions? Who approved it? Have the other disciplines signed off? So this puts social media at the heart of the AEC statement, where it is most useful. Let's look at some other environments where we could do the same thing. Panoramas. Here again, you've seen this many times. Here again, authored statements are intact within an environment. This time, the environment is a combination of panoramas and models. The next slide is an example of the same thing, different data. This data set did not include drawings, but if it did, you'd see them aligned in place. Now, panoramas are traditionally static environments, but that's also now changing too, because panoramas can be continuous video. The research group is showing jitter-free alignment in real time inside of panoramic video as the camera moves anywhere. So models and drawings can augment video in real time, putting authored statements in the construction worker's actual environment, which can only be extremely useful. We're showing reliable locations by putting data in reality. We should think of the inverse too. You have to let's put reality in the data. So here's here's modeled data. If there is panoramic video recorded along this roadway, then put a curve in there showing that the video exists. So now you have reality inside the data. You have to imagine now what I'm going to say now. Just please imagine. Touch on the pink curve somewhere, and your viewpoint will move from where you are here down into toward that point you touched, and then you'll merge inside the video. And when you get in there, then the video will commence from that point, and you'll move down the road. Oh, back up a second. Stop that. Okay. Once you're in the video, then you'll have the nodes that bring the visual statements inside there in place, as with the panoramas we showed before, and Network Rail, by the way, has specifically asked for this capability. So let's look at some other environments. Photosynth, or Google Maps, aligns photos spatially, which definitely makes them environmental media. There's nothing preventing us from putting authored statements into these photo environments exactly the same way we put it into the panoramas, which I put down there at the bottom right just as a reminder. Notice the point cloud integration as well. Because that works with photos, or will work with photos, there's no reason it can't work also exactly the same way with hand drawings, sketches, and renderings, which would be very interesting and useful to elevate hand drawing again, making it relevant in new ways. This is related also to another idea that users have also told us that they need. They have legacy construction drawings that were drawn by hand decades ago, or are archived in some electronic format or another, and they want a method of getting those legacy drawings aligned like this into environments. But often the problem is that they don't have a model. So let's say they have a 60-year-old hydro power plant and 60 years worth of drawings, but they don't have a model. Well, then they can use panoramas, video, photos, point clouds, or a combination of all of them. They're all environments, just like a model is, and they can align their drawings into that environment without having a model. It is conceivable that we could automate alignment of legacy drawings in space like this, so that they can be aligned in any environment, including within point clouds, for example. So we looked at point clouds, either laser scanned or photo generated. Point clouds need augmentation too, like any environment, because point clouds represent only what a scanner or a camera can see, and nothing inside those visible surfaces. So a great way to fill in what's missing is to align the authored statements. Vectura says they want that. They told us they want their drawings aligned into their point clouds because old legacy drawings they have for railway bridges, for example, are like any set of drawings. They're not easy to interpret, and aligning them into the point cloud will help them understand what the drawings mean and what they're doing. They said it would be extremely useful to them. I mentioned combined environments. This is common now. Google and Apple are combining photo and panorama environments like this. Where Bentley comes in is augmenting these component environments with authored statements to define locations of authored accountability within the environments. Now, how about databases? Databases are environmental too. Look at the metadata here. It's information everywhere on millions of entities. What you need to do is make sets of information. For example, author a maintenance task list. A maintenance task list would show a user where to walk in this environment, lead him to each piece of equipment on the list, and prompt him to check specific values and record them. And this kind of authoring will make environmental databases more useful and keep them better maintained, probably. Sometimes you need special transformations, and these are some visual transformations that I think are awesome. And more of these visual transformations will be invented as needed as more kinds of media combinations are explored. Another kind of visual transformation is movement. The Army Corps wants exploded views, as do many users. Explosions are authored movements, and they should be invoked and revoked on demand at any statement. What moves and where it moves is authored and stored on a node. And click on the node to explode, and click again to implode. What it means to author a statement is changing. We put statements in their environments, and we also make richer environments by combination. And we keep intact authored accountability. Communication improves because of better media. And media matters. There are devices like software and hardware. There is message that a user wants to communicate. And there's the medium through which he communicates. Message is key. Media matters, and devices deliver media. Software companies are built around the prevailing media types of their time. When media change and get better, new opportunities arise. Which of these companies will lead the change and get the most out of it? I say it's us. And this is my last slide, a bonus idea. Bonus idea. New forms of media create data continuities that did not exist before. Look at the continuity between the stuff on the drawing and the stuff in the environment it points to. If you're a data guy, not a visual guy, think about the continuities in combinant media that bring new connection points in data mining. If you're interested in that idea, let us know sometime, please. There's more than one reason to pursue advances in media. To summarize, users need to communicate in ways that people can understand. Projects are complex, and media needs to improve to meet the challenges. Users want to take advantage of new forms of environmental media, but in ways that are reliable and that keep accountability intact. And we see the way to do that. And we think the frontier in visual media represents also a frontier in business. Lots of new opportunity. Thank you.